Hello, Michael here, looking at Psalm 78 for devotion. This psalm may be subtitled, Tell the Coming Generation. And we're focusing on verse 19 through to 22 for our exposition. Let's go ahead and read those 4 verses. Verse 19. They spoke against God, saying, Can God spread a table in the wilderness? Verse 20. He struck the rock so that water gushed out and streams overflowed. Can he also give bread or provide meat for his people? In verse 21. Therefore, when the Lord heard, he was full of wrath. A fire was kindled against Jacob. His anger rose against Israel, because they did not believe in God and did not trust in his saving power. And as we turn to the treasure of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 19 again. Yea, they spake against God. They said, Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? And Spurgeon exposits. From this verse we learn that unbelief of God is a slander against him. Yea, they spake against God. But how? The answer is, they said, Can God furnish a table in the wilderness? To question the ability of one who is manifestly almighty is to speak against him. These people were base enough to say that although their God had given them bread and water, yet he could not properly order or furnish a table. He could give them coarse food, but could not prepare a feast properly arranged. So they were ungrateful enough to declare, as if the manna was a mere makeshift, and the flowing rock stream a temporary expedient. They asked to have a regularly furnished table, such as they had been accustomed to in Egypt. Alas, how have we also quarrelled with our mercies, and querulously pined for some imaginary good, counting our actual enjoyments to be nothing, because they did not happen to be exactly conformed to our foolish fancies. They who will not be content will speak against providences, even when it daily loadeth them with benefits. In verse 20. Behold, he smote the rock, that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? Behold, he smote the rock, that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. They admit what he had done, and yet, with superabundant folly and insolence, demanded further proofs of his omnipotence. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? As if the manna was nothing, as if animal food alone was true nourishment for men. If they had argued, Can he not give flesh? The argument would have been reasonable. But they ran into insanity, when having seen many marvels of omnipotence, they dared to insinuate that other things were beyond the divine power. Yet in this also we have imitated their senseless conduct. Each new difficulty has excited fresh incredulity. We are still fools and slow of heart to believe our God, and this is a fault to be bemoaned with deepest penitence. For this cause the Lord is often wroth with us and chastens us sorely, for unbelief has in it a degree of provocation of the highest kind. And verse 21. Therefore the Lord heard this and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel. Therefore the Lord heard this and was wroth. He was not indifferent to what they said. He dwelt among them in the holy place, and therefore they insulted him to his face. He did not hear a report of it, but the language itself came into his ears. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, the fire of his anger, which was also attended with literal burnings. And anger also came up against Israel. Whether he viewed them in the lower or higher light, as Jacob or as Israel, he was angry with them. Even as mere men, they ought to have believed him, and as chosen tribes, their wicked unbelief was without excuse. The Lord doeth well to be angry at so ungrateful, gratuitous, and dastardly an insult as the questioning of his power. And verse 22. Because they believed not in God, and trusted not in his salvation. Because they believed not in God and trusted not in his salvation. This is the master sin, the crying sin. Like Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, it sins and makes Israel to sin. It is in itself evil, and the parent of evils. It was this sin which shut Israel out of Canaan, and it shut myriads out of heaven. God is ready to save, combining power with willingness, but rebellious man will not trust his Savior, and therefore is condemned already. In the text, it appears as if all Israel's other sins were as nothing compared with this. This is the peculiar spot which the Lord points at, and special provocation which angered him. From this let every unbeliever learn to tremble more at his unbelief than at anything else. If he be no fornicator or thief or liar, let him reflect that it is quite enough to condemn him that he trusts not in God's salvation. Yes, 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 we have to trust and believe. Trust and believe. Oh, what a great God we serve. Always on time. Perfect in his appropriation of justice and mercy. Let's give him praise and have confidence that he will see us through. Trust you enjoy the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be